the former heavyweight champion of the world, Ezzard Charles. Ladies and gentlemen, Ezzard Charles.
Don't wait for the last word.
Another great former heavyweight king, Jersey Joe Walcott. Jersey Joe Walcott.
One more guy.
And here's the great former champion, Tony Canzoneri. The Cinderella man of boxing, former heavyweight champion, James J. Braddock.
In just a few moments, the fight will be underway, but first, here's a man who seems...
While waiting to him, ladies and gentlemen, the former light heavyweight king, Just Lesnovich. Just Lesnovich. Thank you, Gus. Gus Lesnovich just informed me that Braddock was unable to appear. Let's give him a hand in his absence anyhow. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the cleverest, regardless of weight division, in the boxing class, the former light heavyweight champion, Tommy Lockwood. Tommy Lockwood. Stand up, Tommy. Let them see you. Thank you.
218. The meter. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's mystic program has been presented under the auspices of the Eastern Parkway Fights Incorporated, of which Emil Lynch is the promoter and president. Thank you. This boxing program has been conducted under the jurisdiction and supervision of the New York State Athletic Commission, Julius Helfand, Chairman. We'd also like to make mention that tonight's star attraction is the first heavyweight championship match to be presented in this city by an independent promoter, and his name is Emil Lynch. As usual, the ring officials have been assigned here by the New York State Athletic Commission. The judges are Joe Agnello and Billy Rex. The timekeeper is Huey Benedict, counting for the knockdowns at the bell. Referee Teddy Markin, and the referee at this time inside the ring, Ruby Goldstein. Ladies and gentlemen, another contest will follow. This contest is the stellar event of 15 rounds duration for the heavyweight championship in the world. Presenting the youngest pugilist in the annals of Christiana to hold the heavyweight crown. He's from Mount Vernon, New York. He's wearing white trunks with black stripes. His weight is 184 pounds. Floyd Patterson. of his heavyweight crown. His adversary, the recognized #1 contender and capable challenger, formerly of Rockaway Beach, Long Island, now making St. Albans, Long Island his home. He's wearing black trunks with white stripes. He weighs 192.5 pounds. Tommy Hurricane Jackson. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we hope and trust that at the conclusion of this important contest, that the arm of the outstanding adversary will be raised in token of victory. Thank you.
That was Harry Bello, who has always been one of our most colorful ring announcers. Now the referee's instructions from Ruby Goldstein.
Any questions you'd like to ask about the rules of this thing? I'm sure you know them all. I'm just being a championship fight. We are waiting the mandatory 8 counts, waiting to see us down the hole in 9 rounds. I want you to watch your clinching. I want you to break by your throat so that we pulling you apart. Make this a good, clean fight. Shake hands now, not when you come out, and good luck.
A handshake now, which means when you come out fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world, ladies and gentlemen, with the challenger Hurricane Jackson, who ran as many as 18 miles a day in training, weighing 192.5, and the champion Floyd Patterson at 184. They have met once before, with Patterson getting a decision. Jackson goes on the attack right away, pounding away to the midsection, and Patterson comes flurrying back and moves Jackson over to the ropes. Patterson with a long left hand, Jackson with 2 left hand leads for the head. Straight left hand from Patterson, another one by Patterson misses. Jackson going in low, hooks to the head very lightly. And it appears at the present time that Patterson is content to let Jackson carry the fight to him, although that opening flurry by Jackson apparently caused a bit of bewilderment to Floyd Patterson. Both men are short with left hands. Here is Jackson pounding the midsection, twice as short, jolting right hand to the jaw of Hurricane Jackson, and he slowed down momentarily. Both men out in the center now, a snapping left hand on the nose and a followed right cross by the champion. As he goes into the crouch himself, now he pounds the midsection with a straight left. Jackson goes in, hooking to the head of the champion, Floyd Patterson. Jackson with a long left hand that was short, intended for the forehead, misses another left hand. With the champion taking his time, keeping his gloves together up around his chin, jabbing out to the forehead sharply, another that lands high on the cheek. A missed right hand for the champion, intended for the jaw of Hurricane Jackson. Here is Jackson pulling out with the left hand. He hasn't gone into any of those bewildering tactics of his yet, flicking out with his left hand 3 times, just keeping the champion away, but doing no damage at all. Both men keeping their right hands cocked, with the hands of the champion held very high, and Hurricane Jackson keeping his rather low. Jackson chops away to the midsection, and there he is back on his heels from a sharp left thrown by the champion. A good left hand, and now Hurricane Jackson is in trouble as Floyd Patterson goes on the attack, hitting him high on the forehead with his left hand. Now Jackson punches to the midsection. Landed one right down on the belt line. The crowd roared, thinking a low punch, but the referee did not call it. Now there is Patterson inside with a straight left to the jaw, a short right to the chin, and he's got Hurricane Jackson on the ropes. Jackson is hanging on. He's in difficulty as he backs away. His eyes are glazed a bit. Here is Patterson moving in on him as Hurricane Jackson very feebly tries to pull him away. Out into the center now with Tommy Hurricane Jackson throwing the left to the chin, missing with the right to the midsection. Patterson apparently just biding his time as Jackson very feeble, and a 1-2 delivered beautifully to the head by the champion Floyd Patterson. Patterson with a right cross to the jaw of Hurricane Jackson. A straight left to the forehead of Jackson, whose nose is starting to redden already. Here is Jackson trying to bring up a left uppercut, but it's very feeble. He tries to keep the champion at bay with a long left hand, another long left hand from Hurricane Jackson. And a sneak right lead landing on the jaw of Hurricane Jackson, and a left hook that would have ended it missed by the champion. Here is Jackson with a long left hand again, and he brings up a right uppercut in the infighting. Tries to bring up the left hand. It was blocked by the champ. With Patterson keeping his gloves up onto the chin now, preventing a very tough target for Hurricane Jackson. Jackson standing flat-footed, trying to shoot the right hand in. He does land a fairly good left hook with about 10 seconds left to go in round one here for the heavyweight championship. A long right hand by Patterson, another left and a right, and it's Patterson doing the landing, and Jackson goes down as the bell ends round one.
East side, west side, all around the country. Buick's big sales rodeo is getting into full swing. And here are 3 good reasons why folks are flocking to their Buick dealers. 1, the 57 Buick drives like nothing you have ever driven before. Further proof that when better automobiles are built, Buick will build them. 2, you can own a great 57 Buick for less than 11 models of the low-price 3. And 3, your present car is probably worth more now than it will ever be again. So your Buick dealer's offering top allowances. Visit Buick's bargain-filled sales rodeo tomorrow.
The bell rang as Jackson hit the floor, so it will be considered a no-count knockdown. Jackson immediately up back to his corner. We have seen the Hurricane in trouble before and have seen him come on to befuddle his opponents, but the way round one went, you would have to think that Patterson could end it just about as he pleases. And Jackson, though, comes storming out, doing that quick dance step for which he's famous, and he's punching harder now. And he punches to the body of Floyd Patterson, who does not appear to be bothered about it as the blows are not landing very well. Patterson just keeping his gloves up around his chin and waiting for one good shot. Patterson chopping away at the jaw of his opponent. Jackson pounding to the midsection. Jackson bringing up a short right hand to the head. Jackson misses a long left hand. Patterson fighting in a sort of a crouch, keeping his gloves up in front of his face at all times, not worried about punches to the body apparently. Here is Jackson missing a long left for the forehead. Now they back away as the champion Floyd Patterson, after putting Jackson down in the first round, seems to be ready to bide his time and look for the good shot, and he gets a shot to the head with a straight right hand for the forehead, but he backs away as the long left hand of the challenger Hurricane Jackson sends him back to the ropes. Now it's Jackson moving in, but Patterson weaving and bobbing, not a blow being struck in that one. Now, with 2 left hands and a hard right cross to the jaw, and another left and a right, and Jackson is on First Street again. Here is Floyd Patterson backing him into a neutral corner, pounding 2 straight left hands to the forehead, but Jackson battles back with 3 long left hands, very feeble ones, but nevertheless enough to keep the champion off him for the moment. When Jackson flurries, he doesn't throw too much leather, too hard, but when Patterson throws those flurries, brothers, they are really devastating. Patterson backing away now, taking his time, leaps in with a kangaroo leap and lands a short left to the chin of the challenger Hurricane Jackson. And now there is an attempted bolo, and as Jackson came in, he was tagged hard on the chin with a straight left by Floyd Patterson, the champion. And down goes Hurricane Jackson for a count of 2, 3, 4.
He don't. Watch up, Floyd. He doesn't have to take the 8 as the champion.
He doesn't have to take the 8 count at all, and Patterson thought he did have to, and Jackson was up at the count of 3. It was a long sweeping right hand which did not appear to do too much damage, but that is the second time that Hurricane Jackson has been down. Nevertheless, he pursues Floyd Patterson, who scores with 2 straight right hands right on the nose of the challenger Hurricane Jackson. Jackson nevertheless comes out of the center of the ring, eyes bleary, game to the core, pounding away at the midsection with his left hand, trying to go downstairs, but Patterson ties him up inside. There's no place for Hurricane Jackson to punch. He throws his left hand high for the forehead again. Patterson, the picture of confidence, working slowly, working easily, looking for the openings. As Hurricane Jackson misses a long right thrown for the head, partially blocked, hooks nicely, and then runs into a straight right hand on the nose, thrown by Floyd Patterson. Jackson back with a straight left hand for the face of the champion. Now, a little 1-2 step done by Hurricane Jackson as he tries to get the champ off balance, and he missed the long left hand that he threw in there. Here is Jackson again missing with his left hand as Patterson is waiting, taking his time, making the challenger do all of the aggressiveness at the present time. There is Patterson with a 1-2 to the midsection. Brought up a short, choppy left-hand uppercut that didn't do Hurricane Jackson too much good. Jackson is short with 2 left hands. And there's the bell for the end of round 2. And Tommy Luck.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, here's a terrific fight. Jackson is displaying amazing endurance here. He's taking a terrific beating. He's been down once in each round, but at the same time, he's putting up a terrific fight, and it's astonishing to the crowd how he's able to stand on his feet. As I said before, I think that Patterson tonight is going to show that he is a real champion in the way that he's handling this fellow. However, regardless of the punches that he's been landing some sweethearts of hooks. He's landing to the head and to the body. Jackson seems to take them without too much effect from it. He's been down, but he comes up there just like a rubber ball. This fellow really is a rubber man. It's astonishing. Yeah, look at him. He's bouncing around here just as though he was getting warmed up for the fight. I doubt that that'll do him a little good, however, against the capabilities of Patterson. This really can be a sensational fight because Patterson may get tired as he goes along, but they're both young, and being young, they can recuperate quickly, and we should see a good fight.
Now ready for round 3, ladies and gentlemen. Hurricane Jackson coming out and pounding a long right hand to the midsection of Floyd Patterson, who continues to beat a retreat. Patterson with 2 right hands intended for the jaw of the challenger, both missing, as Jackson now cocks his right hand, backs Floyd into the ropes, tries to throw his left hand in there, but Floyd slips along the ropes and does not take any punishment. There is now the Hurricane going downstairs with 2 right hands to the midsection of Floyd Patterson, who comes back with 3 straight left hands to the forehead of the challenger. And now Jackson is back on his heels again from a straight left thrown in there by Floyd Patterson. Patterson backing away, keeping the gloves high. There is the long left hand being blocked each time by Hurricane Jackson, but Floyd Patterson, who picks them right off his head as he keeps those gloves right in there close to the bridge of the nose. And Jackson continues to flick out the left, misses a long right, and Patterson back on his heels as he was moving away, missed with a countering right in return. Less action so far in round 3 than we've had in round 2, but these boys are explosive. There's a high left hand from the champion on the forehead of the Hurricane. Jackson backing away and moving away nicely from a left uppercut that was thrown by Floyd Patterson. Now, Jackson, who did calisthenics between rounds, pounds away with a right to the midsection, his left hand right down on the borderline with no warning from referee Goldstein. Now here is Jackson moving from left to right, pounding to the midsection, running into a right-hand lead on the head, as Patterson was coming out of the crouch, and Patterson is one of those guys who will sneak that right-hand lead on you at any time. Now there is a very fine right cross thrown by the champion, which landed on Jackson and did not appear to bother him a bit, as maybe the Hurricane is starting to warm up. He takes a thumping blow to the midsection. It doesn't bother the Hurricane. Now he's put his left hand down low and his right hand down below the chin, his left hand clubbing out in front of him as Patterson comes in still with the same style, gloves up under the chin, punching short, missing the left uppercut and the right cross, and Hurricane pounding away with a straight left to the face. But now a very fine 1-2 combination and another a right cross, and again Hurricane Jackson was in trouble, but he grins back at the champion of the world, Floyd Patterson, as he came off the ropes and gave him a silly little smile. There is the Hurricane pounding with the left uppercut, which was partially blocked by Floyd Patterson. Back in the center of the ring now, short uppercut thrown by Hurricane Jackson. He throws another short right uppercut, misses with the left uppercut, as he's trying to solve some way of getting inside of that fine defense that Patterson is throwing up, and then those flurries that the champion comes out of there with. They get their heads together over in a neutral corner, a short uppercut thrown by Jackson, a right uppercut thrown by Jackson, another right by Jackson. Patterson moving away as Jackson misses the right uppercut. Patterson chops away at the jaw inside. Jackson moving him back against the ropes now, throwing a feeble left to the chest. Now Jackson backs him out into the center. Still on the attack, the Hurricane never lets up, even though he's taken some terrific punishment. Here is another short right uppercut by Jackson. They both exchange left uppercuts, with the power of Patterson's a bit stronger than that of Hurricane Jackson. Heads together again. Here is Patterson pounding away at the midsection, crossing with the right hand high on the head, a little too high to be in a vulnerable spot, and round 3 is over.
The whole town's talking about the hit of the year, the car that's built great to perform great, the dream car to drive, the 57 Buick. And they're getting in on Buick's big sales rodeo, because right now, new 57 Buicks are selling at the lowest prices ever. Right now, old cars are bringing top trade-in allowances. Right now, you can save. Save more than you ever dreamed possible when you buy a great new 57 Buick. So get in on the bargains and save at your Buick dealer's sales rodeo tomorrow.
At ringside at the Polo Grounds of New York for the heavyweight championship of the world in round 3, definitely the superb conditioning of Hurricane Jackson kept him in there, and he has started to appear as though he may make it go quite a while, although he has been battered quite a bit about the eyes and nose. Floyd Patterson took his time in round 3, satisfied that he had dealt out a lot of punishment in rounds 1 and 2. Now they come right up above our microphone here in a neutral corner with Patterson attempting to tie up the Hurricane, pushes him away. They've not been doing much clinching at all. Now they go into a half clinch, but Patterson backs away from it. Hurricane Jackson goes inside, staying very close to Floyd Patterson. Patterson spins him, pounded away at the midsection, brings up a left hand to the midsection. Again, it's the Hurricane with his short left hand to the forehead of Floyd Patterson, unable to do any damage because of that shell-like defense that the champion builds around himself. And then the champion hooks and comes out with a straight right hand, 2 lefts to the nose, a very sharp right hand to the forehead. And this Floyd Patterson can punch as fast as anybody you've ever seen. When he really starts to throw them, they really go in there. Hurricane Jackson, meanwhile, backing away and taking a sharp left on the forehead, trying to shuffle away from the incoming champion, who is doing the forcing now for the first time since the bout started. Patterson pushes Jackson back toward the ropes, now brings up a short left uppercut, and Jackson once again pounds in his left to the midsection, but catches a 1-2 to the forehead in return. Here is Jackson trying to push Floyd Patterson away. Jackson showing crimson around the face, quite a bit of it, as Floyd Patterson moves in, puts his chin right on the shoulder of the challenger and tries to punch away. Now it's Jackson with the short left hand and the right cross, throwing a lot of leather as he can do, and he staggers a bit as he was hit right on the top of the head by a right hand, which might possibly later on do damage to the hand of Floyd Patterson because he hit him right on the top of the head. A fine left hook thrown in by the champion. Jackson backing away, trying to bring up the short right uppercut. Patterson inside, pounds to the midsection with a left and a right, brings up a right to the forehead, a left hook, pounds a left under the heart, and now Hurricane Jackson is hurt. He grabbed himself in the midsection and almost slumped to the floor, and that caused Patterson to relax, but he did not go down, and the Hurricane brings up the lefts and right uppercuts again as he tries to keep this savage champion at bay. There's a lot of rubber in the legs of Hurricane Jackson here in round 4 as Floyd Patterson pounds to the midsection, shoots the right cross to the jaw. Hurricane comes back, pounding gamely at the midsection 1, 2, 3, 4 times. A right uppercut to the jaw of Patterson. Patterson lashes out with a right hand lead for the chin that scores. Now Jackson comes off the ropes, fighting gamely once again, bringing up the left uppercut to the chin of the champion, Floyd Patterson. Hurricane Jackson laying in close now and trying to belabor his opponent with short left hands that are partially blocked, and he is pushed away by the champion as they go to a neutral corner across the ring. And it's Jackson bleary-eyed as Patterson misses with the right hand and staggers the challenger with another right hand as he was coming in. A right hand high on the forehead of the challenger, all thrown by the champion of the world, Floyd Patterson, who pounds away to the nose with a straight left and shoots a right cross into the midsection. Here is Hurricane Jackson now backing away as the champion sent in 3 snapping lefts to the forehead. Here is Jackson high with his right hand. Patterson grabs him as he comes inside. Round 4 is almost over. There is the end of the round, round 4, and here is Tommy Loughran. It's Jackson throwing the long right hand to the forehead as he pushes the champion out into the center. Here is once again the snapping left hand of Floyd Patterson, and he runs into a left hook thrown by the challenger, Hurricane Jackson. Jackson moving in with a right hand to the midsection, brings up a right uppercut, misses a long left uppercut. Patterson shoots at the straight left that scores, with the Jackson bullying him into the center of the ring and bringing up a short right uppercut of his own to the chin of the champion. Light blows the R. Now there is the champion flurrying once again with a left to the head and a right cross that missed the forehead of the challenger, Hurricane Jackson. Jackson moving inside with Patterson keeping those gloves high up around his chin once again, giving you no head target to shoot at all. Jackson tries to go to the midsection and gets his elbows inside to give him some punching leverage. Now follows the champion out into the center, landing 1, 2, 3 right uppercuts. Patterson, who has the explosive power, is trying to conserve himself for that knockout punch, apparently, as the advice goes out from some ringside fan to Hurricane Jackson, keep your chin down. He moves in with his chin straight up in the air. He fears no one, and he's tagged hard with a left and a right, the right skidding across the eyes of Hurricane Jackson, who, despite all of the punishment and the fact that he was reddening around the face a bit, has his eyes clear right now as he moves in and hooks with the left to the head of Floyd Patterson. Another light left hook. Patterson backing away from a straight left uppercut. Patterson with 2 lefts into the heart, and now a right cross by Floyd Patterson that skidded off the jaw of Hurricane Jackson, who still continues to come in and press the fight. Only in round 3 was the champion doing much of the forcing. Now Patterson sends the champion away from him, goes inside, chopping with a left and a right, looking for the clean opening for the KO shot, unable to get it because this fellow presents a very elusive target himself as the Hurricane weaves and bobs a lot. Now he is tagged with the right hand over the forehead with 1 minute remaining in round 5. Now there is a bolo punch missed with Jackson. He runs into a right uppercut in return. Now he throws a bolo, looks for an opening for his right hand. It was not there. Patterson is wide with a right hand that he shoots in for the head. He chops the challenger away with a left hand to the head. Jackson coming off the ropes runs into 2 left hands. The second left hand, which was thrown hard, just did miss its target. Now Patterson doing a bit of weaving and bobbing himself as Hurricane Jackson stays right with him. Brings up the right hand to the head. Jackson missing with the left hand to the chin. Brings up a short right. Patterson scores once, twice, 3 times. Misses with the long overhand right with just seconds remaining here in round 5 for the heavyweight championship of the world at the Polo Grounds in New York City. Jackson missing with the left and a right. Patterson also missing as Jackson was inside. A lot of leather thrown there, but very little damage. Here is Hurricane Jackson pounding away to the head of the champion, and Jackson crosses with his right hand, scoring on the jaw of the Hurricane. Jackson backing away again and trying to tie up the Hurricane, who misses with his right, lands with his left, and there's the bell for the end of round 5. Round 6 is almost ready to begin, and the crowd roars as Hurricane Jackson, the challenger against the world's heavyweight champion, Floyd Patterson, is up and doing all kinds of calisthenics in his corner, dancing straight up and down, swinging on the ropes. Meanwhile, the champion, Floyd Patterson, just taking it easy over in his corner as the handlers work on him and flex his muscles and get him set for round 6, which starts now with a straight left hand on the jaw of the challenger, Hurricane Jackson. Once again, an attempt is made by Hurricane Jackson to get inside. Floyd Patterson keeps him away with a short, jolting left hand. Again, Jackson comes inside, trying to find an opening on the champion, who hasn't given him any opening so far. Most of the heavy leather has been thrown by the champion, but Jackson has thrown a million punches himself. Now Jackson misses with the right uppercut, goes inside, lands with a light left uppercut and another one, and the champion sends him away with a stinging left hand that landed on the nose. Jackson has been punching long, Floyd Patterson punching very short most of the bout. Some of the blows of Patterson are thrown so rapidly that they almost are missed with the eye. Here is 2 straight left hands now thrown into the chin of Hurricane Jackson by Floyd Patterson. Patterson over the ropes near Patterson's corner, with Jackson's corner, with Jackson trying to work to the head, but being tied up fairly skillfully by Floyd Patterson, who moves out into the center of the ring here at the Polo Grounds around the second base area. Here's a chopping right hand thrown to the jaw of Hurricane Jackson as he moves back inside, though now a 1-2, a savage combination, but Jackson scores to the stomach also as the champion was moving in. Jackson with the short right uppercut, another short right uppercut, and runs into a savage left hand and another left hook that landed on the chin of the challenger as Jackson puts his head right on the shoulder of Hurricane Jackson now and pounds away. Patterson probably not quite as fast with his punches as he was in the first 2 rounds. Nevertheless, is in there with a fine left hand to the chin of the challenger. The challenger, meanwhile, coming back with a left and a right of his own, uppercutting with the left hand, then missing with the long right hand lead. Now, here is Patterson pounding in once again, carrying the fighting now to the challenger as he tries to tie up his left hand, succeeds in doing so, but the challenger got his right hand free for a right uppercut, and there's a beautiful left of the midsection thrown by the champion Floyd Patterson, and a straight right hand to the head, and another right hand to the head by Hurricane Jackson that missed, and then he was stung hard by Floyd Patterson as Patterson moved in. There is Jackson with a 1-2 to the midsection. Both boys punch into the midsection now as Patterson tries to fight free for a headshot, and he gets it with a straight left hand that made the knees of Hurricane Jackson bobble just a bit. A savage left cross and a straight left missed by the champion. Here, once again, attempting with the left uppercut is Hurricane Jackson. He scored with a couple of light ones with 30 seconds left to go in round 6. Now, the Hurricane gets Jackson's head under his arm as they pull him over to the ropes. Now he backs away from Floyd Patterson, who goes in always relentlessly on the attack. Jackson scoring with a left and a right uppercut. Here is Patterson with a left to the head and a fine left thrown high on the forehead of Hurricane Jackson and a right cross. And again, the challenger appears to be in a bit of trouble as Jackson is pouring it on, scoring at will with the left hook and the right cross, the straight left to the forehead. Again, Hurricane's knees are wobbly a bit, and I think Jackson might have punched himself out a bit as the bell ends round 6, and again, Tom...
the smart thing by staying inside, yet he's being worn down by the same type of mauling. It's really a great battle, and it may end with one punch, and it may not. Here we go.
Well, we thought it was going to end early in the round with one punch there, Tommy, early in round 1, but now here it is, round 7, as Jackson throws a left hand for the midsection of the champion, Floyd Patterson. Patterson with a right cross to the nose of Hurricane Jackson. Here is Patterson backing away now from the long left hand of the challenger. Floyd's been trying to stay inside most of the night, and to annul the longer reach that the challenger has, there's a fine chopping right hand to the left jaw of the challenger. But that did not make his knees buckle at all. He just blinked his eyes and kept banging on in there. Throwing his left hand, Patterson slips away from it. Patterson shooting out the straight left hand for the forehead of Hurricane Jackson. Then missing a left hand as Jackson moves in. The action rather still here in round 7. Both boys apparently wanting a breather. Patterson with his gloves still up around his face. Weaving, bobbing as he moves around. Shooting the straight left in for the forehead of Hurricane Jackson, who flicks out 2 left hands of his own in return. And there is a flurry of 3 straight left hands thrown by Floyd Patterson, and 3 more landing on the eye of Hurricane Jackson. The long right hand was partially deflected by the Hurricane. A right hand to the midsection of Floyd Patterson as he moves along the ropes. And the Hurricane, with that mythical style of his that defies description and is a very tough one to set up a defense against, moves in on Floyd Patterson again, who was glad to retreat to the ropes and come pounding off with a hard right hand on the kidney of Hurricane Jackson. Jackson just pawing out with the left hand, tried to sneak in a right hand lead that was blocked. Now pounding away to the body is Hurricane Jackson. Floyd Patterson with his defense very high tries to sneak a right hand of his own past the glove, and it was blocked by the Hurricane. Now Jackson with his left hand very high has those blocked. Both boys fighting very clever defensive battles here in round 7. Here is Jackson with 2 straight left hands in for the forehead once again. Hurricane Jackson working to the midsection with a couple of left hands and then running into a couple of savage left hooks as Patterson can still rip him in there, and he staggers the challenger with another left hand high on the head as round 7 is getting very old. Another devastating left hook thrown by Patterson, but Jackson comes plodding in without too much power, but still throwing the leather at the champion of the world, who gets up on his toes, bounces away, throws 2 straight lefts to Jackson's forehead. Now Jackson looks like he's stalking a wounded lion in the jungle as he goes in, kicking his feet very high, pounds to the head, brings up the right uppercut, brings up another right uppercut. Patterson double uppercuts him as he came in, and that one apparently hurt the Hurricane a bit as he's showing a lot of crimson around the forehead. Here is a chopping right hand that lands on the chin of Hurricane Jackson. He's in trouble now as the champion lands a right high on the head. The challenger's knees sag. He's caught with a terrific right and another left hand, and he grabs and tries to hang on as Floyd Patterson is on him. About 10 seconds left in round 7, ladies and gentlemen. Patterson with a straight left to the nose, misses a right cross for the forehead. Jackson paws him away very feebly. His eyes are glazed, and there's the bell for the end of round 7. This is Russ Hodges at ringside at the Polo Grounds in New York, along with Tommy Loughran for the heavyweight championship of the world. Hurricane Jackson has appeared to be a Hurricane that was ready to run out of steam in about every round. Suddenly he comes back and puts on a fine flurry. However, for round 8, he did not do any calisthenics in his corner. He was content to sit there and take it easy as the champion really battered him from pillar to post in the last 30 seconds of round 7. Jackson, however, goes on the attack, but his blows are ever so feeble as he tries to chase the champion of the world around the ring. Floyd Patterson not throwing a punch so far in round 8, and we can see that having swallowed quite a bit of blood, that Hurricane Jackson appears to be slightly nauseated at the present time. He keeps his left hand out there very high, though, as he tries to keep Floyd Patterson away from him. A bit of scar tissue appears to be dislodged over the left eye of Patterson. The only actual visual damage with the exception of the fact that his nose is badly swollen. Jackson taking Patterson into a neutral corner, trying to pound away at the midsection, tries to shoot his left hand in, but the champion tells him to move in and do some fighting now. So Patterson gets inside, holds the gloves of Hurricane Jackson, backs away from him, then tries to shoot a straight right hand in for the forehead that dazed the challenger a bit once again. Jackson in a half crouch is tagged high on the jaw with a left and a right. His knees sag as he came in almost at half mast to try to get inside the defense of Floyd Patterson, the champion of the world. Patterson shooting out a straight left hand to his taller opponent, who backs away, then bangs away at the kidney of Floyd Patterson, a punch that did not have too much steam behind it. Here is Jackson backing away now as Patterson is content to follow him, boxing flat-footed, but now Patterson is throwing those short, jolting punches. Whenever he throws one of them, they really land. He's not winding up to throw the long haymakers. Short left uppercut onto the jaw of the challenger, Tommy Hurricane Jackson, who lunges back to the ropes to get away from a follow-up left cross. Here is Patterson moving inside again, now chopping to the chin with a left and a right. Staying inside that rather feeble defense of Hurricane Jackson, tagging him with a vicious hook to the head and then one down to the body. Jackson has not been hit very much in the body tonight, but whenever Patterson does lay one in there, it really has got to take some steam out of you. Here is Jackson with his chin on the shoulder of Floyd Patterson. Patterson chopping away with a left hand to the head and a right cross to the forehead. The 1-2 delivered with devastating effect as Jackson, leaning his weight on the champion, runs into a savage right cross and a left hook and misses himself as he tries to hook to the head of the champion. Patterson goes in with a savage flurry, landing hard lefts and hard rights, all to the face of the challenger for the heavyweight championship of the world, Hurricane Jackson. Jackson with a flurry of light punches to the midsection, and here is the champion letting him punch himself out, looking for that one shot at the head as he goes in and lays in the hard right hand of the jaw and the right to the midsection. As Hurricane comes out of it punching once again, throwing leather to the face and missing a hard right uppercut as the champion sent him away again with a straight left hand to the forehead. Tied up briefly, out they go. It's Patterson who goes into a little dance step now as round 8 is almost over. Hurricane Jackson trying to push him away, and round 8 is over. Here is round 9. The challenger, Hurricane Jackson, again did not go through any calisthenics as he was content to rest between rounds. And the champion of the world, Floyd Patterson, backing away from the long left hands that are thrown by Hurricane Jackson, landing in the midsection but lightly. 2 light lefts on the forehead of Hurricane Jackson, who punches to the midsection of Floyd Patterson, the champion, who backs up to the ropes over near neutral corner. Then they go into one of the half clinches that they've been using tonight. Very seldom has the referee had to part them at all. Now here is Jackson coming inside, bringing up a left hand and a right, light to the head of the champion of the world. Floyd Patterson backs away, shoots in a straight left and a right as he punches with such speed and then goes right back into that shell of his, keeping the gloves up in front of his face to befuddle Hurricane Jackson. Jackson now with the left hand into the midsection, tries to bring up a short right uppercut, didn't get it in there. Patterson backs away, keeps the gloves up high, and is tagged on the nose by a short left and on the chin by another left hand as he was coming in. All rather light blows by the challenger, Hurricane Jackson. Moving away now is Floyd Patterson. 2 straight left hands to the nose by Patterson. Another left hand high on the forehead, thrown by Floyd Patterson, who scores with a terrific left to the chin and a right cross. Now Jackson bouncing back in, though, with 3 left hands, uppercuts to the forehead of the champion of the world, Patterson. Now Jackson goes in once again and is stung, coming in with a left hand high on the forehead. Back on his heels he went, but still stays in there. Now Patterson missed with the right shot for the jaw. Jackson comes in swinging for the midsection as Patterson straightened him up with 2 lefts on the forehead. Neither man showing too much damage around the eyes at all. There's not a cut, although the nose of Jackson has bled freely since the fight started. Here are 2 right uppercuts thrown by Hurricane Jackson. Floyd Patterson working inside, trying to get an opening for one of his punches. He scores 5 times with a left hand, and a left hook puts Hurricane Jackson down, and he is up immediately at the count of 5. The count of 8 is not necessary. Floyd Patterson stalks across the ring very calmly, very confidently, as Jackson was down for the count of 5 and bounced right up. Floyd Patterson did not rush him, just took his time walking across the ring after he had been to the neutral corner, and now he rushes the challenger again, and the left eye of the Hurricane appears to be in a bit of trouble. Here is Floyd Patterson, the champion, with plenty of time left here in the 9th round, but Hurricane Jackson, wobbly at the knees, is still carrying the fight to him in one of the most amazing demonstrations of courage we have ever seen. He comes inside and is tagged hard on the chin by Patterson's savage left hand. Patterson moves in again now as the Hurricane wobbles around him, but he still keeps that long arm of his like a swinging gate out there in front of him, and Patterson just moves away from it, not worried about any damage that it will do, but it must be at least annoying. Here is Patterson trying to move inside once again on the Hurricane. Jackson landing a good chopping right hand to Floyd Patterson, as Patterson came inside. Now there is a terrific right hand high on the forehead of Hurricane Jackson.
End of the round.
And there is the bell for the end of round 9. Hurricane Jackson weathered another terrific storm toward the end of round 9 and was staggering around and more than likely would have gone down. His left eye is swollen. His nose may be broken. And the Hurricane certainly knows that he has been in one at the hands of Floyd Patterson, but game to the core. On our cards, he has not won a round. However, that is up to the decision of the scorers as Hurricane Jackson comes out still pounding away with the left hand. Yes, he is having difficulty seeing out of his left eye now as it is rapidly swelling to that shut stage. He nevertheless throws a right hand into the midsection of Floyd Patterson, who doesn't bat an eyelash as he just moves back now and looks for the opening that he thinks might be able to end it all, although he has hit Jackson with so many haymakers that it must be a little discouraging long about now. While we've been talking, not one blow struck here in round 10 as Jackson is doing the stalking and Patterson is moving away. Now Jackson throws a left hand and a right to the forehead of Floyd Patterson, the champion of the world. Floyd fighting very confidently now, but with the specter of Jackson in front of him, Jackson runs into a savage left hook right on the chin as the champion threw just about all that he had in one of those short, jolting lefts of his. Jackson flicking out with the long left hand again, keeping Tommy Hurricane Jackson away. Floyd Patterson trying to get inside. Jackson with the long left again. There is Jackson missing with the right for the head, but landing the left to the midsection, landing another left to the midsection of the champion. And as the Jackson came inside, Patterson tried to fight free, could not find his shot, but he lands 3 straight left hands on the chin of Tommy Hurricane Jackson. This is round 10 for the heavyweight championship of the world at the Polo Grounds in New York. There is a left hand thrown to the midsection of the champion as Patterson moves in, chops to the head, watching with the eyes all the time, keeping his eyes on big Hurricane Jackson. Now, as Jackson breaks ground and moves away, Patterson tries to move in, but is stung with a left hand that lands on the forehead. Here is Jackson missing with a left hand for the midsection, running into a chopping right cross, and now he's tagged again, and Jackson sags against the ropes, and Ruby Goldstein has stopped it. Referee Ruby Goldstein has stopped it as he decides that Hurricane Jackson has taken too much punishment and might possibly risk a severe injury if the bout is allowed to go any further. As that right hand from Floyd Patterson landed, we could see the eyes of Hurricane Jackson cloud, and Ruby Goldstein went in and called a stop to all to the goings on here. Tommy, if you had been the referee at that time, how would you have acted? Wait just a moment. Here's Harry Ballow.
Ladies and gentlemen, the last time, 1 minute, 52 seconds of the 10th round. Referee Ruby Goldstein stops this contest. The winner and still the heavyweight champion of the world, Floyd Patterson.
Floyd Patterson winning on a TKO at 1:52 of the 10th round. We're going to attempt to bring you an interview with the champion of the world, Floyd Patterson, as Bill Corum is up in the ring, but we're unable at the present time to see Bill because there are quite a few people up there with him.
Floyd, Bill Corum.
Now let's go up to the ring.
What do you think of this fight compared to the last one?
Well, I felt much stronger, although I thought Hurricane was a much tougher opponent this time than he was at first.
You did think so?
Yes, indeed.
Hey, you want him? Stay right with Bill here. Stay right with Bill. Stay right with Bill, Floyd. Stay in there. As soon as I get away here, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Take a little longer before you start, huh? Put it out here. You ready up there?
We queued you up to Bill Corum in a bit of a hurry, ladies and gentlemen, as there's quite a crowd in there. And Bill, in there among the champions and some of those big guys, is a little difficult for us to spot. Now, there he is. There's Bill Corum.
That you thought that Jackson was stronger in this fight.
Yes, I did.
But you felt stronger, too.
Yes.
And you feel now that you're in as good shape, I guess, as you've ever felt in your whole career, and not too old.
Yes, but however, I honestly believe that Jackson is such a terrific fighter that in time, if I manage to hold on to the championship, in time I'll be fighting him again.
Well, you were good boyhood friends, I know, and maybe that would happen. And now you'll go out to Seattle for your next fight, I take it.
Yes.
In Seattle against Rademacher.
Yes.
That's your next fight. Well, you fought well. Now, wait a minute. Can we get him? Will you get him a minute? That we couldn't open. All right. All right. He wouldn't talk. They tell me anyhow in his corner. Gus, come over here. We'll introduce now the manager of the champion, Amato. I'm sorry we couldn't get Jackson for you. He fought a very game fight, as you saw. Very courageous, wonderful fight. But he didn't want to talk. He wouldn't have talked anyhow. Gus, what did you think of it?
Well, I think Floyd might have finished him sooner and more clearly and without question of doubt, except I think he wanted to fight him and beat him at his own game first.
Yeah. Well, now, what do you mean by his own game, Gus?
Well, right inside, punching it out with him on the inside.
Yeah. Do you think he looked better in this fight than the previous one?
Well, I think he won him more easily and far more decisively.
Well, obviously, more decisively was a knockout. Of course, the second knockout, and some people think the only real knockout in Jackson's career.
I agree.
The other thing was the three-time knockdown with Valdez, which everybody understands. So that makes now everybody that your champion has fought the last 13 men, he's knocked them all out.
That's correct.
That's correct. Well, that's pretty good. In 23 knockouts, he's only 22. So he's going pretty fast. A good fighter. Congratulations, and I think he's going to be a very, very fine champion. And I'm sorry.
Well, that is the end of the fight, but we'll be back in a minute with a wrap-up.
Come a-runnin' to Buick Sales Rodeo. Now you can own a big 57 Buick for less than 11 models of the low-price 3. And what a buy it is. It's the car of the year that